guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to another Sunday Script and Uplift video. I started this series because I wanted to put some goodness out there on the internet, and I'm going to show you how I script an uplifting quote or phrase the first Sunday of each month, and then the following day, Monday, the free print, I'll put a free printable up in my shop for you. So today what I'm going to be scripting is the phrase, if you say it, mean it. And it's a twist on the popular phrase, say what you mean and mean what you say, but this one's a little bit more direct. And I just like the way, I like the directness of if you say it, mean it. And it's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. So I'll go into a little bit more about my thoughts on it later in the video, but I wanted to show you what I'm going to be using to create this print for you guys. So I'm just using a scrap piece of white cardstock. Often when I am turning something into a digital format, it doesn't really matter if I even use copy paper because I'm just going to be photographing or scanning it into the computer and digitizing it anyway. I do think that if you use a good cardstock, you could just use cardstock for a finished product as well. So this is just a scrap of cardstock I had. It's a weird size. It's something like 6 by or 7 by 8 or something like that, 7 by 9. And then I am going to be creating some sumi ink. And this is a Japanese ink, and this is the ink in this little stick, and then you rub it against this stone to create the ink. This is something this is a cheap version. I got this in clearance at Joann or at Hobby Lobby, but there are others that you can find online. I'll be sure to link to some different options for you. It's just kind of a relaxing and different way to do some ink that it dates back a long way. So like I mentioned, this is a little stone that the ink is not a stone. This is a little block that the ink is in, and you have to wet it to activate the ink. So you rub it against the stone. You can see where I've rubbed it here to create the ink with a little bit of water. And so I'll start by showing you that, and then we'll go ahead and ink up our quote. So I'm just going to, I have some water, and I have this is like a little dauber thing. And I'm just going to put a little bit of water on the stone. I'm going to zoom in so that you can see this actually. So what you're going to do is you just take the stone and you rub it in a circular motion. It's really quite relaxing to do. And the water and the rubbing helps to break up the ink in the stone so that you can use it for brush lettering. Now, admittedly, this takes a little bit longer than just getting some regular ink, but there's just something about doing it this kind of way that dates back many years that's just really very relaxing and enjoyable. And the whole idea with this thing is that you can pour it down so that you can dip your pen in the ink at the bottom. Okay, so before I get started and put you, I'm gonna voice this over, but before I do, I'm just going to hand sketch this out with a pencil, and I'm just going to do it very loosely because this is going to be very free form. And I did decide to go back to the brush I was trying before that I didn't think was going to work, but I think it will. So I'm just going to sketch it out so I can see where the letters might go, but I'm not going to be super careful about it because I'm going to kind of let the brush go where it takes me. And I'm going to try to fit the word it right in here. Okay, So you can see it's just very freeform. So I'll go ahead and voice this over now. So this was a really quick quote to script. So this is going to be a short amount of me talking, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about the quote, "If you say it, mean it." And it's something that I've been, like I said, thinking about for a while. And, you know, when you first think of that quote, you might think, you know, of keeping your word or of not being hypocritical. You know, if you say something, then do it. If you say that you're a good person, then be that. So I thought about those things to start with, but I also thought about sometimes how we say things just to be nice. So that's a step in the right direction, right? We start out by maybe saying what's on our mind, whether it's good or bad to people sometimes. And then we move forward instead of saying the thing that's really in our minds, we say something nice instead. And that's a step in the right direction. But I've been thinking about how I can actually mean those things that I say. And when I say that I forgive someone, what does that mean? And do I actually mean that? And how I can, if I don't mean it, what can I do to change my heart so that I do mean it? And those are just some things that I've been thinking about as I have been thinking about this quote. And it's just, like I mentioned before, I just kind of rephrased the quote, say what you mean and mean what you say. And just been thinking about how I can be more intentional with the words that I use towards others and to myself as well, but how what I say affects other people, and what can I do to make it so in my heart I do actually mean everything that I say. And maybe that means sometimes I hold my tongue. And so those are just some of the thoughts that I've been going through in my mind as I thought about this quote, and how if I were to mean everything that I say and to try to better myself, that I would be putting a little bit more goodness out there in the world. And so that's something that I strive to do. I'm always striving to be a better person. And so I encourage you, as you think of this quote, and maybe you'll print this out and put it on your wall or something, but to think about how you can truly mean something when you say it. So I finished the quote here. Like I mentioned, it's really free form. I will go back and touch up some of those areas that look a little bit like the E looks a little strange. But I'm just dropping some extra ink on here. I like the spottiness that those splatters add to this, and it just looks really artsy. And so that's pretty much going to complete this quote. I'm going to come back and talk to you in real time here for just a second. Okay, so like I said, that was a really quick one. This is really free form. I wanted it to look very artsy. Once this dries completely, I will go in and erase the pencil lines that you can kind of see here. And this is going to be the finished product for today. Now, I think I'm going to put, because I put a comma here, which is punctuated, I want to put a period at the end. So I'm just going to put a little dot there. And it kind of looks like it goes in with the splatter, but it's also a period, so that works for me. And I hope that you have enjoyed this Sunday Script and Uplift. Be sure to check out my blog at CraftyJenSchow.com tomorrow for this printable, and I'll be sure to post an update on my Instagram and on my Facebook, which I'm Crafty Jen Schow on both of those. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful Sunday.